This is the Star Wars SHFiguarts Episode 1, The Phantom Menace Darth Maul version 2.0, as well as the Star Wars The Black Series Darth Maul from Star Wars The Phantom Menace. This one is by Bandai Namco, and this one is by Hasbro. Yes! If you haven't already guessed it, today we are doing a Bandai versus Hasbro on their Darth Maul figures. Now this one is the third version of this new Darth Maul mold. We've first seen this SDCC exclusive with the speeder. We got it in a 3-pack, and now we got him as a single. This is the most basic one we have, so we're going to compare it with this one. This one is an upgraded version of the previously released one. This one has got the soft goods cloak and all that. He's got several blades for the lightsabers. He's got the probe droid. Maybe it's an unfair comparison, some of you might argue, because maybe we should be comparing him with the San Diego Comic-Con, because that's probably exclusive. That's probably the most comparable figure, but it is basically the same buck with the differences in the soft goods and all that. So I think it's fair that we can compare these two, because just looking at them in packaging, just on the head sculpt alone, the lightsaber, I think they're pretty comparable. Okay, so let's begin with the SHFiguarts, since there's a lot to discuss with this figure. It's got some really nice artwork on the packaging right there. It's really nice display piece. Okay, the figure does come with a ton of accessories. He's got the two lightsaber blades that have been split up when Qui-Gon or Obi-Wan cuts this in Phantom Menace, so there's no way to combine them, which is a shame. It's the same with the first version. I think Hasbro does this one better, because Hasbro just has one pair of lightsaber hilts which you can combine, and the Figuarts opted not to. You can replace the blade with any of these hilts as well. The current hilt, let me just pop these out, is a little bit of a pain just to get through the gripping hands. And again, like I said, I think Hasbro does this thing one better. This is really, it's a little bit of a nuisance just to get that through his pistol grip hand. So this is the whole lightsaber, and of course the blades are removable, the ignited blades, and it does come in this really nice dark crimson color, and it tapers, unlike the Hasbro version, which really is made of soft. This is the annoying bit about Hasbro. I mean, they do a good job with the split up and combining, tabbing in gimmick for the lightsaber hilt, but they didn't paint it. They molded it in this shiny gunmetal gray plastic, which just the paint is on the details of the buttons, but that's it. And as far as the blade goes, I love the shape of the Hasbro blade, but it's orangey compared to the crimson blade of the SHFiguarts. So color-wise, design-wise, and look, I love the look of the SHFiguarts, but in terms of a playable actual figure, I love the thick blade that this lightsaber hilt has, and the removable and the ability to recombine that hilt. I think Hasbro did a better job. So gimmick-wise, Hasbro, but look and feel, I think it's still SHFiguarts. Okay, now let's talk about the hands. There are 5 pairs of hands in total. You've got the grabbing, sort of reaching out hands, force hands. You've got the fists. You've got the gripping fists. You can put the weapon there and hold it. And then there's the pistol grip fists, which I think is my favorite, because that's the one that can hold the lightsaber hilt comfortably. Okay, he also comes with alternate lightsaber ignited blades, the Wong Wong blades, which is really cool. Very thick plastic, nothing cheap about that. He also comes with his probe droid, and the probe droid does come with a stand. You have to assemble the stand, and then you can mount the probe droid so it appears like it's flying. And just to give you a close-up look at that probe droid, it is very, very nice. Nothing flimsy about it. Even this antenna, it's made of very crisp, very breakable plastic, so be very careful with that. But everything's solid, even this wiring right here. I mean, Hasbro, when they did this for the SDCC version, there were some parts that were really soft, and the whole plastic was really pliable. This one is really solid, hard molded plastic, really painted beautifully. And I think SHFiguarts does a better job with the probe droid than with Hasbro. So the SHFiguarts does come with two amazing head sculpts. You've got the gritting teeth version, and then there's the nonchalant poker face version. Both are painted beautifully. I am loving it. The facial tattoos are so accurate. And if you compare it with the Hasbro version is a little too shiny for me. This, he had very matte makeup on. Ray Park. This one is just a tad bit too shiny, and the tattoos, it makes him look like he's got a mustache. It's not the most accurate. I think the Bandai version is still more accurate. One thing that this figure does better though is look at the head spikes. Look at that crown of horns that this Hasbro version has. It is sculpted beautifully and painted just immaculate, glorious paint apps on those thorns compared to the stubs that the SHFiguarts has. Man, I think in terms of sculpt, Hasbro might have it, but in terms of detail, paint apps, and look and feel, it's still SHFiguarts. Okay, so the SHFiguarts has the soft goods, which the San Diego Comic-Con version had. Also, not, was it San Diego? Yeah, the San Diego Comic-Con had the soft goods as well. But this one, I think, is better. Bandai soft goods, I think, are much better because for once, they've got the wire. And for this particular instance, they've figured out how to do a wired cloak and cape that's not annoying. So the cloak is long enough to drape. I've been saying that in my previous Darth Vader review. Make the cloak long enough so that even if you've got a wire, it would still drape properly. So this one is long enough. I mean, it could still be longer, but I'm pretty happy with its length. And the wire goes from here down here up to here. So you can do a lot of dynamic poses with this cloak. Also, the cloak is made of this garterized corduroy, which is very accurate to the movie. I think that's what I remember what it looks like. And because it's garterized, it will hug the figure's body and it will stay in place. It doesn't just fly off and puff off like that. So that's one thing very nice. And I think it's a lot better than what Hasbro did with their San Diego Comic-Con. Oh, I forgot. The cowl also has wire, so you can actually pose that cowl, make it look really nice on him. So, okay, and it's very accurate. It's got the punctured sleeves right here. And they fold down like that. This is a little bit annoying though. The material, because the way it's been sewn, is a little stiff and it doesn't drape naturally like that. It kind of puffs up like this. That's probably one downside of this cloak. So onto the figure itself. Now, you will notice that both of them use the molded in plastic. The Hasbro version is a little bit shiny. Yeah, there's a little bit of a shine. I don't know if they put a wash on it, but it does come across as shiny. And this one is matte. I think the matte finish is obviously more accurate. There's a little bit of shine of the molded plastic right there, but I think on this Figuarts, I think is probably more accurate. But I do like how the Hasbros look because of the texture and the way the waist cape crumples. I think Hasbro's the winner here. And it's softer. This one almost as soft. It's a little bit, there's some resistance right here. Accuracy wise, it's this one, but the way it looks and feels, I think I'm gonna go with Hasbro. Let's talk about plastic quality. And this is my major disappointment with the Bandai, the SHFiguarts. The joints right here, if you notice, and the plastic in general does feel very light. The joints do feel loose and light, and they feel like KO plastic. If you look closely, you'll notice that it's, look at that. It feels very cheap. It looks cheap. It feels very cheap. It's something I'm not used to because after reviewing Ahsoka, Luke, the plastic they used there was spot on premium. This one just, I don't know if that was the thing they were going for because they wanted to make it look matte and not shiny. but it does feel light and cheap. Same with the legs. Even look at the ankles. That's my biggest gripe with this figure. The plastic feels cheap. And if you watch my Transformers reviews, you know how I'm a stickler for plastic quality. Hasbro, on the other hand, has this pliable, I hope it doesn't get sticky over time type of plastic, but it feels a lot heavier, it feels a lot more solid, and I think it's a lot more premium compared to the Bandai plastic. And as such, in terms of quality, I think Hasbro wins it. Sculpt-wise, sure, I'll probably give it to the SHFiguarts, but the way he feels in hand, quality-wise, I'm going to give it to Hasbro. I think they did a good job with this one. Albeit it's a little bit pliable, it does feel very, very solid. It's something that it's not going to warp or anything like that on your shelf, and that's what I like about this one. Okay, let's go to articulation. SHFiguarts, the neck is on a dumbbell ball joint here on top and then a ball joint at the base. You've got a smooth ball joint rotation and movement on the, I think on the waist. No upper torso though. The shoulders are on these cheap butterfly joints. They also have ball joints that make the arms go in and out, forward and backward 360. You've got the standard, this is a double hinge, single hinge elbow with a swivel. You've got usual ball joint and hinge for the wrists. The hips are on ball joints. Is there a bottom? Yes, there's a lower waist swivel right here. And then you can kick up, kick forward, backward, kind of do the splits, not really. The knees are on hinges, single hinge, but the way they've molded that leg, there's enough cut right there so you can do the size up position, or not actually size up position, but a very good kneeling position because it bends more than 90 degrees. There's also a swivel right there. The calf has no rotation. The ankles, are they still on ball joints? I think so. So effectively, it's a ball joint that allows you to do the rocker tilt, kick up and down. And he's got toe articulation, which is actually very, very cool. As far as Hasbro goes, ball joint up here in the middle and at the bottom, smooth ball joint rotation on the waist or upper torso. He's got butterfly hinges over the shoulders. They go in and out, forward and backward 360. Hinge elbow with a swivel. And wrists are they ball joints? Yes, they are. Yep, they are ball joints. It employs the new ball joint, the same as what we've seen with the 3-pack and the STCC version. Hips are on ball joints, and as you can see, this one can actually do the splits. And if you're trying to pose the figure, when he's kicking, the Duel of the Fates, when he's doing that, when Ray Park does that kick against Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan, the Hasbro version can do a better job at it than this one, because this one can't do the splits. He's got a thigh swivel, single hinge knee with the swivel. He's got a boot cut, ankles go up and down, and a rocker tilt, but no toe articulation. So I would say normally this has the better articulation, but in terms of posability, I'm going to go with this one. And stability-wise, he just stands a lot more ominous than this guy. This guy has a toe articulation, sure, but when you put them together, they may have the same height. They're about 6 inches, but look at that. He's just has a more imposing presence than this one. So range of motion and full articulation, I'm going to give it to SHFiguarts. But playability, dynamic poses, and just all around, when you go all out posing your figure, I'm going to give it to Hasbro. Head to toe, the Hasbro version on the right stands at about 15 centimeters tall, while the SHFiguarts stands at about 14.5 centimeters tall. The Hasbro is at 5 7/8 inches tall. SHFiguarts is at 5 3/4 inches tall. So they're both under 6 inches, with the Hasbro version being slightly taller than the SHFiguarts. I was a little surprised with that. I thought SHFiguarts had already caught up with Hasbro and tried to keep their figures about the same height as Hasbro. And for comparisons, here they are with the retro-carded Return of the Jedi 40th Anniversary Luke Skywalker Jedi Knight. And with the SHFiguarts from the TV series or Disney series, Ahsoka, we've got Ahsoka Tano. Now, Ahsoka towers over this Darth Maul. I'm not sure how accurate this is because if you remember, they fought when she was still, well, sort of a Padawan. Her species, do they really grow taller as they age? Because Shakti was pretty tall Jedi, and the Togruta species. So I'm going to give SHFiguarts the benefit of the doubt. Maybe Ahsoka, when she had matured and reached this age, she would have grown much taller than a Darth Maul compared to as when she was a Padawan. Some final thoughts on these two figures. Which one is better? I think both are amazing in their own right. And I am actually very surprised that Hasbro is actually going toe-to-toe with this SHFiguarts figure. This is a basic Darth Maul figure, and I am loving it as much as this SHFiguarts figure. Now, if you're the hardcore collector, you want a figure with all the bells and whistles, you want to display the figures in various dynamic poses, and you want him in all the various different scenes that he's with, obviously it's the SHFiguarts for you. But if you're the casual Star Wars 6-inch 1/12 scale collector, you just need a good Darth Maul on your shelf, I would recommend the Hasbro version. This basic plain vanilla Darth Maul figure, I think, is a lot more fun than this SHFiguarts. The plastic quality in this one is just absolutely so much more premium, so much better than the SHFiguarts. The way you could play and display and put him in dynamic poses, I think he beats the SHFiguarts. The only thing the SHFiguarts does better is I think it's got a very, very accurate soft goods robe or cloak. He's got very well detailed hilt, very well painted face sculpt. The look and feel is very accurate. If you want that, if you're going for that, and you want, stuff just to display on your shelf, then this is the one you want to pick up. But if you're the kind of collector who plays with your figures and you just want to get it in all sorts of poses and just mess around with this figure and your other figures and just have a blast playing with them and having them fight, then the Hasbro version is for you. It's a lot cheaper. It's about half as much as this one. I cannot believe how good this basic Darth Maul figure is from Hasbro. This one is obviously going to get a 10 out of 10. This one, because seemingly poor quality on the plastic, is going to get, I'm sorry to say it, but it's going to get a 9 out of 10. Those are my thoughts on these two figures. Who do you think won? Did you think Hasbro beat SHFiguarts, or do you think SHFiguarts is still the king for 1/12 scale figures? Let me know in the comment section, and as always, hit that notification bell so you never miss out on any of my latest video reviews. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe. Thanks for watching.